The sound of crystal glasses clinking and laughter echoing off marble walls once defined Amelia Davenport's world, a world built on the unshakable foundation of inherited fortune, where her childhood was filled with silken dresses, chauffeurs waiting outside in black cars, private schools nestled in the Swiss Alps, summer homes overlooking the Spanish coast, and weekends where Paris was as casual a destination as a neighborhood café. A world where water came sparkling in glasses etched with her family crest, and she never once wondered what it meant to long for the simple things that others prayed for, a world where she believed life's currents would forever flow in her favor, until the tides turned against her family and the Davenport fortune, constructed over 3 generations of shrewd business, began to unravel in the space of only a few years, first with a devastating recession that bled their investments dry, then with a disastrous merger that collapsed like a house of cards, and finally with scandals her father did not even cause but which suffocated their reputation until no one wanted to be associated with their name, the jewels disappearing into auctions, the estate falling silent before being sold, the art stripped from the walls, the laughter from so-called friends fading into whispers of disdain, leaving Amelia alone to face a life she had never been prepared for, working in a department store folding shirts while hiding holes in her worn shoes, surviving in a cramped apartment with peeling walls, still carrying her pride like armor as she painted on makeup before every shift even when her stomach twisted in hunger, telling herself she was still Amelia Davenport no matter how far she had fallen, but pride could not feed her or quench her thirst, and one blistering summer afternoon fate stripped even that away when her bus broke down on the far edge of town and she, weakened from too many skipped meals, trudged through merciless heat toward a flickering gas station sign, her body drenched in sweat, her throat raw and burning as if she had swallowed fire, hope flooding her when she thought of cold bottled water only to find her wallet gone, lost somewhere on the road or stolen in the crowd, her heart collapsing at the realization that for the first time in her life she could not afford even the smallest necessity, sinking onto the curb outside the station with her head in her hands, humiliation heavier than the sun above her, until she noticed him, a man no older than 30 sitting against the wall with a battered backpack and a cardboard sign reading, "Hungry but hopeful, anything helps," his beard scruffy, his clothes threadbare, but his eyes bright with something she had lost long ago, something that startled her with its quiet strength, and against every ounce of pride she had left, she approached and whispered through cracked lips, do you have water?" And he, Daniel, looked at her with surprise but without judgment, tilting his head as though searching her story in her face, before reaching into his backpack and pulling out a half-filled plastic bottle, offering it with a gentleness that undid her completely, saying simply, "Here, it's not much, but it's cold," and though she wanted to refuse out of shame, her body betrayed her and she took it, sipping slowly as tears streamed down her cheeks, realizing it was the sweetest water she had ever tasted, whispering, "Thank you," again and again while he shrugged and said, "It's just water," though both of them knew it was so much more, it was dignity, it was humanity, it was proof that compassion could survive even in the harshest places, and so they sat together on the curb as he told her his story, once a carpenter proud of his craft until an accident and mounting medical bills pushed him into homelessness. Yet unlike many who grew bitter, he carried hope in his voice, telling her, "Life takes things, but it doesn't take who you are unless you let it," words that echoed inside her like a bell. And over the following weeks Amelia returned again and again, at first to repay what she felt she owed, bringing him sandwiches, a jacket, spare change, and eventually simply her company, and though Daniel resisted at first, not wanting charity, she reminded him he had given her water when she had nothing, and so a friendship grew between them, not built on wealth or appearances but on shared struggle and kindness, until one evening beneath a sky painted in amber light she confessed everything, her luxurious past, her humiliating downfall, her shame, and braced herself for judgment, but Daniel only nodded and said softly, "Maybe life brought you here so you could see people differently, maybe this is the gift and the loss," and for the first time in years Amelia's tears cleansed her instead of crushing her, releasing bitterness to make space for something new. And months passed filled with small miracles as Amelia helped Daniel connect with a shelter program that led to steady housing and part-time work, while Daniel in turn encouraged her to believe in herself again, pushing her to apply for jobs beyond retail, until she secured a position at a nonprofit dedicated to helping those in need, a twist of fate that struck her with irony but also profound gratitude, because the woman who once knew only luxury now poured her energy into serving the forgotten, and she had never felt richer. Her journey culminating one winter evening when she stood on stage at a community event, her voice trembling as she told her story to donors, volunteers, and families, declaring, "Once I believed the greatest treasures were things you could buy, but then when I had nothing a man who had even less gave me water, and that moment taught me true wealth is measured not in possessions but in compassion," her words igniting a standing ovation as Daniel smiled from the back row, his eyes bright with pride. And Amelia understood finally that from luxury to rags she had found something greater than both, the inexhaustible wealth of kindness. The treasure of human connection, the truth that a single act of compassion, as simple as offering water on a scorching day, can ripple outward to transform lives in ways unimaginable, leaving behind a story not of loss but of abundance, not counted in bank accounts but in hearts, reminding us all that no matter what life strips away, the power to give and to love can never be taken.